back to the Mike Watch. I'm your host, Michael, and then I'm here with my other host, Michael, and we have literally absolutely nothing to talk about. Movies suck. I've come to that conclusion that movies are a waste of time and are mindless distractions from the real life simulation that we live in. That's
Not
it. That's
far
all I got.
off.
That's all I got. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. That's it forever. Bye. Just kidding. Mike watched Conjuring 3, and is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I
I
guess
watched
movie
and then
wise.
I watched 40 minutes of the Conjuring 3. Just got by the first act of the movie, and then I passed out.
Yeah, it's I think collectively, the people that have seen it, I think all kind of agree it's the worst one.
Yeah, that's also it's hard to get the first two. That's the thing.
Yeah, um
It's a feat, especially for
yeah, those
without
first
without
two are so good.
he didn't direct what's his face. Sorry, well he didn't direct the third one.
James Wan.
Yeah, he didn't direct it, right?
Right. And it shows.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same time this movie was probably as good as it's gonna get without him directing it. Um
I wasn't mad at the first 40. I wasn't mad at it. It's just I don't.
It was decent.
It's
It's not
hard
like
to
it's a
get me hooked
bad
in these
movie.
paranormal movies. Like I'm not a paranormal guy, never have been, and I think it's hard to get me hooked in that stuff. And like, especially when I'm not in a theater,
Yeah.
I feel like those movies they're better in a theater or like with people or like dark,
Yeah.
good set, not like half lit room and like your MacBook. You know what I mean? Like it's just not.
Right.
But yeah, so you watched the full thing. So what do you think of the movie as a whole? It was around an hour and 12 minutes. Sorry, 112 minutes.
Yeah.
Little under 2 hours.
Yeah, which is good for these kind of movies. I'm not usually a fan of horror movies that are 2 or 2.5 hours
Yeah, they have
plus.
it's hard to really get it. Yeah.
I find that a lot of times they get really stale. Um,
Scenes drag on very long. That's kind
yeah,
of their thing is that the scenes go on because it's to build suspense, but if you're not building suspense, then you just have a ridiculously long scene.
right. And I feel like even let's say for a movie like The Shining, that's 2.5
Yeah.
hours
Kubrick.
long. Even yeah, and even for me, like it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it drags. Like
Pepper watch,
especially
yeah.
yeah, the more you watch it, especially the more you're like Jesus Christ. But um,
Especially that first like
yeah,
act and a half of that movie drags,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
But
definitely,
I think it pays off. But
yeah.
go watch your
Um,
Shining review that like 30 episodes ago.
yes, we did do an episode on that. I forgot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but so the guy who directed this one was the same guy that did the Curse of La Llorona, the Curse of Too Many L's in the title.
Yeah,
Um,
who so like Warner Brothers get a better director.
yeah, I read that James Wan had okayed that, and I'm not sure if that's true. Um, but
I
regardless,
mean,
it wasn't James Wan, so it
yeah.
wasn't
I
as
mean,
good.
also Christopher Nolan produced Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and you
Yeah,
know what I mean. Like,
produced.
who
Yeah.
gives a fuck?
Um, yeah. In other words, he was probably on set for one day, and they asked him one question, and then he was done.
Yeah, he's
Um,
like yeah, he's like yeah, sure, I directed. I don't. Okay.
mm. um, but overall, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's better than the spin-offs.
Yeah, which
Um,
very low bar, but yeah.
yeah, which yeah, obviously that's
Well,
with
Annabelle.
maybe the exception of Annabelle Creation was
Yeah,
a really good
you like
one.
that one a lot, eh?
Yeah, I was I
I
was a
don't
big
watch that,
fan.
man.
Um, but other than that, like the other ones, I heard Annabelle 3 wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
But the movies that weren't The Conjuring 1 and 2 were
yeah,
like overall, I think,
yeah.
pretty off the
And
mark.
the nuns, the nun is like one of the biggest flops I feel like in
Yeah,
like
the
the
Nun is
it's
just
I just picture the studio sitting there being like, okay, so the nun is from The Conjuring 2.
yeah,
Okay, so let's we're gonna make it into a movie, right? Because people like The Conjuring 2, and everyone's like, no one wants to see that movie, dude.
Right.
The
Because The
the
Nun was
nun,
good in the story of The Conjuring 2.
yeah, it's like, but no one cared about the nun that much. We're just like, it's
Right.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like it was, and it's like, I just picture like oh, I feel like I don't know studios. I mean, we don't have to go over this, but like, it's just it's just so Hollywood to just be like, oh well, The Conjuring 2 did good critically and financially, so I'll get the nun to make a sequel and then make some money. Like it flopped
Right. Right.
because no
Big
one
time.
wanted to see it, dude. Like,
Big time
hey,
flop.
put your finger near the pulse at least, just near the pulse.
Yep.
This is the
Read
pulse
the room.
right here. Fingers all the way over here, dude.
Hmm. Yeah.
Fix that, you know?
Right. Um, this movie, um, also, I wasn't the biggest fan of the title. The Devil Made Me Do It, I think, is a little too on the nose. Um,
Yeah, it movie's a little bit. It felt like a really good produced Hallmark movie when I was watching it.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
There's parts that I really like, and there's parts that I don't really like because they fall into that same kind of horror trap where you're like, there's
yeah.
dead silence for 30 seconds, and you're like,
I've seen this
obviously somebody's
before.
going to jump out, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like I'm more of a guy that when I'm watching a horror movie, I like more like scary, like kind of imagery and like watching shit in the background rather than jump scares because I think it's a really
yeah.
fucking cheap way to scare somebody.
It's loud
Uh,
noises, and you just it's just sound mixing is what it is. It's not
right.
some sort of practical or visual like cue. That's cool. It's just like
Yeah.
some guy in the sound booth went, turn this down here,
Yeah.
cut here, make this
Yeah.
audio the highest it can be,
Bam. Yeah. That's it.
right?
Which is why I think I'm such a big fan of movies like Midsommar and Hereditaries
Mhm.
because they don't rely on jump scares to be scary movies. And it's the same with
Yeah,
The Shining too. It's the exact same thing with The Shining.
100%. Yeah, no, of course. It's just that it makes you uncomfortable, and like you
Right.
finish the movie and you're like, I don't, you don't like you. It's so crazy how like it'll just it messes with your head so much. Like I'm not saying you're like I'm questioning reality, but like you sit there. Like I remember after Midsommar, you
Yeah.
just
You got to process what the fuck you just
yeah,
watched because
it's
it's
like
like
you don't know. I maybe I'm being dramatic, but with Hereditary, like I remember just yeah, it just the paranoia. I guess your paranoia just like
yeah.
spikes for a bit, and it's just such an interesting use of film, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah. And
And it's
it's
hard to do, dude.
yeah. And that's what I was gonna say too. Is it's so hard, like especially today, to make a horror movie that's that good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that inventive and that creative. It's totally it does not happen often, and then when it
Mhm.
does, it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Like when a movie like Get Out or Us or Hereditary, like when those movies come out and it's a total game changer versus a movie like this, which I feel like not only falls flat of the first two,
Hmm.
because I feel like the first two were some of the first like horror movies that I started watching.
Yeah. Especially in modern horror, there's not many hits, like
Exactly.
actual hits. Not like, but like The Conjuring really has a good fan base, and I
Yeah.
mean that circles back. That's why we have all the spin-offs, is because they're so successful.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's like that and paranormal with like Insidious, pretty much.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not like unwatchable. It's a decent movie.
Hmm.
I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, as
Always
always in these
great. Yeah.
movies, carry the whole thing.
Yeah. Literally.
Um, yeah, it's I mean there's some like the opening shot of the movie of just going into the house and like
Hmm.
there's some really good stuff in this
I
movie.
was gonna say I there's some shot choices that I like camera movement wise and lighting,
Hmm.
and I thought there was some good stuff here, like stylistically.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of wish I finished it just to see where it really went.
Hmm.
I only got past that first act, and there was I mean I think let's get into some. I want to get into some spoilers just because I don't think I'm gonna finish it. but there was this idea that I was so interested in, which was convincing the court to recognize demons as they
Right.
recognize God.
Right.
And I'm like, that would be a really interesting, like, maybe not a full part of the movie, but like a
Yeah.
good, nice plot line would be that.
It's not.
And it's fuck, of course it isn't. Why would it be,
They
dude?
totally they it's not that they abandon it, but I was expecting a lot more
Like a
in the
horror courtroom
courtroom.
drama?
And
Oh
yeah,
god, that'd be
like,
so interesting.
yeah, and I really thought that, when especially watching the trailer and hearing what the movie was about, and I thought that was going to be like
Mm-hmm.
the focal point of the movie, was them
I
trying
never
to
even watched the
argue it.
trailer. Yeah.
And like, I thought that was going to be them
Oh
trying to
yeah.
argue it
The
and trying
the
to
name of the
prove.
movie. Yeah, sorry. Now it's clicking 'cause I never watched the trailer because I didn't want to watch it. That made
Mhm.
me do it. Okay, it's kind of clicking with me now that that's
Yeah,
unfortunate. Now I'm even more mad.
yeah, it's almost like they totally, there's a part in the movie that's about, it's about halfway through it, like heading into the third act of the movie, and it feels like it kind of loses where it is in the story. It kind of goes off and does its own thing for like 20 minutes,
What
and then
does? And what do
and then
you
it comes back. Like, the plot of the movie kind of just
yeah.
shifts, and then it comes back, and it's
What
like,
is it? What does it shift to specifically?
um, there
'Cause
was a part where, um, I don't know if you got as far when they found that totem or whatever under the house.
I got because I also was like on my phone for like a couple minutes there at the end because you texted me. So I was just like I kind of got distracted and I kept watching it for a few more seconds, but I wasn't really watching it. But
Yeah,
they're in the house and she gets like Vera Farmiga gets like these like flashback type things.
yeah.
Is that when she finds the totem? Does she find the totem there? I'm not sure what she was looking at, but she
Yeah,
had like a wave of like it wasn't even really her flashbacks, but yeah.
yeah, they were like visions almost
Yeah.
of like what was going on, and
Hmm.
they ended up finding a totem, like a witch's totem, under the house.
Of course.
So somebody was like cursing whoever was in that house,
Hmm.
and so they took a picture of it, and they said to, like, to fan them out to police departments or whatever. And there was one where they got a call back from some fucking random other case where this girl stabbed this other girl like 20 times or whatever. And like, that's a whole part of the movie, is them like going to find that person's body, and it has like nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it just kind of amounts to nothing almost.
Yeah, like, it's just like,
Hmm.
it has nothing to do with like the main characters of the story,
Yeah.
or like the family or the guy or whatever.
I just picture the idea of like this going through like almost like maybe a not trial of Chicago 7, but even more like a social network
Yeah, something
version of
like
like
that. Yeah.
I think that would have been so interesting and maybe I think people who would disagree with me just it just sounds like an idea that can never work practically just because of keeping suspense and whatnot. But
Hmm.
I just feel like the idea that there is a bunch of horror ensues in some sort of court drama
Yeah.
that is where it has these kind of political and religious undertones that aren't too pretentious, but just there, just to keep
Yeah.
a little bit of depth in the story. That I just feel like, and especially Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, like they can do that. They can handle that story. I feel like they're good. They have that maturity and like gravitas for that kind of story
Yeah,
that I think
definitely.
would work. And it's just like I remember I didn't finish. I only got 40 minutes in, so I'm like I know it's not gonna plan. It's not gonna pan out. It's just gonna be like I'm
Yeah.
not sure really what happens after. I'm sure it's just a bunch of like
There's no there's no courtroom scene where he's found guilty. The
okay,
last
how
the
does
la-
movie? How does this movie? Tell me how this movie. So from the second act, give me
Yeah.
like the gist of what happens.
So basically, there was this woman who was trying to complete some ritual or whatever to
Yeah,
summon some
kill
fucking,
me. Yeah,
yeah,
I already want
it's
to die right now. But
so
yeah,
dumb. But
seen this 100 times. But yeah,
yeah, exactly. So she puts a curse on this little kid that was living in the house. The kid switches it over, passes the demon through to Arnie, whatever, I
yeah,
forget his last name.
decent actor, yeah,
Yeah, he was pretty good.
yeah. And the kid, they were actually pretty good from what I saw.
The kid actually he was one of the kids in The Haunting of Hill House.
That you were watching, and you're gonna
He
say that,
was,
yeah.
yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. He's a good actor. Um, so basically, they found this woman's altar and they had to destroy it to break the ritual or whatever, to break the
God,
curse.
fucking shoot me, dude.
Yeah, it's, you know what,
Oh
and
my
these
God.
these movies kind of tend to fall into the same thing happens at the climax in each of them, where it's
Break it,
like,
kill, destroy it. I
yeah, exactly.
can't.
Yeah, it's like one of them's getting possessed and he's almost gonna die, and then they break it just in time.
Yeah, the beginning in the movie. Sorry, yeah, like
Exactly. That's
yeah.
that's literally so.
The
Arnie
kid's
is.
gonna kill us all. Not really. I'll take it. Okay, let the
um,
kid die, dude. What?
yeah.
Just kill the
Um,
kid, dude.
so basically,
Kill
the
yourself. So, oh, I have a question before you continue.
Mhm,
Arnie gets possessed. He asks to get possessed,
right.
and then forgets that he gets possessed, or just decides to go. I'm gonna live on as if I didn't get. Though I swear
He
he asked to get possessed. Isn't that not what he
yeah
did? And then
he
he just moves
he
on from it, like he didn't get possessed by a fucking demon.
yeah, but I think it's because like it went away, like while it was like festering. I guess it like just didn't
Dude,
possess
I'm
him
gonna
until
get
like fucking one random day, and then it just decided to show up again.
so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
It's so
Um,
stupid. Ugh,
I don't know
hate
how
this.
much I don't know how much of this
It's true.
was factual and how much of it wasn't. I'm not
None of
familiar
it.
with the actual case.
Yeah.
Um,
No one ever is. Because
right,
who cares? Who
but
cares? You know.
so he was in, like, Arnie obviously was arrested and in jail because he fucking
Mhm.
stabbed a guy 20 times.
Right.
Um, and so while he's like, she's underground some fucking place in a tunnel with this giant altar, and she's like,
Yeah.
whatever, summoning this thing to possess him. So he's getting possessed while he's in prison, like
Sweet.
on a bed. He's cuffed to a bed and he's like fucking contorting and like breaking arms and shit.
Nice.
So whatever, they break the altar and then they take him to
Crackhead.
court the next day. Yeah, it's stupid. Literally the last shot of the movie is like him getting out of the police van and going into the courtroom, and then text comes up and it said, "Oh, he was found guilty of manslaughter and he did 5 years in prison." That was it. No scene of him getting sentenced, which could have been really cool. Which was why I thought I was watching that movie, to see
Hey,
more of that.
drama. Drama?
The
Emotions?
movie could have been beefed up a few more minutes for that scene. You know what I mean? And then have it end like that.
Dude.
I did like the credits when the credits are rolling. They're
Oh, that's good.
playing. Yeah, I love when the credits came up, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
I love when the credits came on the movie and it was so sick. I was like, oh, I think that's over.
um, but they played the actual like audio recording from the first
Yeah.
exorcism from the
Mhm.
beginning of the movie, which I thought was pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Didn't it come out that like all the shit was fake? I thought I heard that like all this stuff, all those like stories about like whatever their names are. Always forget their names. The main exorcism, like the Patrick Wilson.
Warrens,
And,
Ed and
yeah,
Lorraine Warren, yeah.
they come out that it was like all fake or whatever. That it was like a publicity. That's what I heard. I was
I
like,
wouldn't be surprised.
okay, yeah, look, obviously it's like that heaven is for real kid. They're like, it's real, and they came out. They're like, we did it for money.
Yeah.
Sorry, church.
um,
Sorry, church, and every mom and little girl ever that watched this movie that you thought this is real.
you know what's funny though? It's like I'm not a big
Not
like,
this movie.
not that I'm trying to get all like, oh, I don't believe in fucking whatever it goes, but for any two people, like I can go like this. Ready? I could take anything that's on my fucking dresser right now and go like, hey, look, I found this in somebody's house and it's possessed by a demon, so I keep it in my basement.
Swag.
Who's gonna, like? How can I prove that? You know what I
No,
mean? Like,
that's why I thought it'd be. That's why I thought the whole God thing was gonna be interesting. Like how
right?
there's no. what if you like if you don't swear to God, like what does that mean in court? Like absolutely
Right.
nothing. Practically, logically means nothing.
Right.
But they hold it to this standard. It's like, well, then Patrick Wilson's like, why don't we hold the same standards to demons? And it's like,
Yeah.
good point. The only good part of the movie that I liked, honestly, in the like, besides a couple shots here and there, was
Mm,
when they also the first. I'm not sure if it happens in the second half of the movie, but the first half of that movie, that first act, and a little bit of this, most of the first act, when they're at like that dog place with the guy and Arnie and his girlfriend.
yeah.
Hey, get the '80s pop music, dude. We
Yeah.
don't need it. We
You don't need
don't.
it.
When Vera Farmiga has like this dramatic line and it like about like something's gonna happen, tragic or whatever, and it just cuts to like an '80s pop song.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And especially when you like
what?
when you
Baby,
know
hold
the
on.
song,
Baby,
it's
hold
like
on. The first one I knew, Baby, hold on, by fuck, who's it by? Is it by? Do you know who it is? Who it's by? The first one. I have the song on my phone. I listen to it all the time. I don't know why I don't know the name of it. It's like a fucking idiot. Is it Eddie Money? What's his name? Baby Eddie Money. Yeah, that's what I love this song, dude.
yeah.
80s classic.
Yeah.
Only good part of the movie. Imagine we get fucking copyrighted for that. Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine?
We would. Every time I upload a video, get copyrighted for something. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's this movie had way like this movie had so much potential, and I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be such a great installment in this already really good franchise.
Yeah. Choked.
Yeah, it's just
Choked, eh?
classic,
Fuck.
you know.
Yeah.
The sequel trap. Stop making them, you know. But they
Enough.
won't. Bro, I can't wait till the fourth one, yeah, and the fifth one, and the sixth one, and the 18th one come out. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Also, they should have killed Patrick Wilson in that one, so he
They
should have just
should
died.
have.
Dude, hey,
I was
have him die for once, dude.
he should. There's a part. Okay, so there's a part at the end where
He almost dies again.
yeah, so
Wow.
he gets in the car because like
He gets in a car.
Lorraine goes to like the place where the altar is by herself,
Nice.
and then
Good
he
idea.
figures it out after, and then he jumps in the car and he goes to find her there, but he leaves his
Why
like
did she leave? Why did she go by herself?
because the movie's got a movie, you know. So
Fuck this movie up the ass, dude. I hate this movie.
so um
This movie.
yeah, so then basically because he's got like a heart fucking condition now because he had a heart attack at the beginning of the movie. So now
Oh yeah, that's right.
common theme throughout the
Yeah.
movie. Now he's got heart problems.
Nice to like watch the cholesterol and stuff. Yeah.
And
It was about him dieting, going on a keto diet.
so he
Going vegan.
forgets his pills when he leaves the house, and then when they get out at the end, he's like, "Oh, I forgot my pills." And then she fucking kept one pill in her fucking locket, bro. I swear to God, that's an actual part of the movie.
What? It's like it's just a fucking. This is the.
It would have
What's
been
it
way
called?
better if he died there.
What's that heart? What's that heart attack medication called? Where you have it so you stop your heart attack. Such people keep it on them. Come on, Mike.
Couldn't tell you.
Fuck, you're supposed to correct me. That's your job here. Is I forget everything, and then you just correct me. Heart
Google
attack.
heart medication.
Heart attack medication. Aspirin.
Oh, there you go.
Just an aspirin commercial at the end. Just like, well, if you're feeling short breath, if you're feeling short of breath, and your heart hurts, and you're smelling fucking whatever, smoke or whatever it is, take this. And he's like, but there's a demon, and it's like, I know, take the Tylenol aspirin. Available available at available stores. If you haven't, go talk to your doctor. He just takes it.
What a great fun. We should direct commercials.
Clip it. Clip it. Patrick Wilson just dies, and it's like, but if he only had aspirin, if he only had the aspirin,
they could have literally taken that whole scene, put it in the commercial, and then put that tag at the end. Dark as shit. That'd be Super Bowl
commercial right there. It'd be Super Bowl commercial.
You know what though? It's effective.
It'd be with like fucking Dixie D'Amelio. Be like, Charlie, you need the aspirin, and she'd be like, what do you mean? Yeah, that's enough of that. That's enough
Um,
of that. I think we're.
yeah, so
Would you rate it? What would you rate it out of 10, Mike?
I think it's a solid 7. I don't think I'd go any higher than that. I think it's being a
Yeah.
little generous too, but
First 40 minutes, I give like a 6.1.
yeah,
Just over the hump.
there's parts of it that I liked.
I wasn't bad. I wasn't mad at the first 40 minutes. I really wasn't.
It was good right from
'Cause-
the first scene. I kind of got my hopes up too because I liked that
yeah,
whole like the exorcism
I,
scene. I liked.
like logically after I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this isn't really making sense to me, but like, it is, but it isn't, and it's like I don't know, whatever. I will just go with it. Fine, it's a movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
And if it gotten better and I'd finished it, maybe I would have liked it. But like, I can kind of let some of those things go. Like especially when I just don't get how he gets possessed. He asks to get he asks to get possessed. Did he tell anybody? Did anybody know? Were they not like, let's keep tabs on him?
Yeah,
Did I miss something?
I
Did I miss
think
something? I
I
think I missed
think
something
Ed because Ed says something to Lorraine when he wakes up in the hospital, like
because he's the only
that.
person who knew.
Yeah,
Apparently,
because
that's what
he
I'm
told
saying.
her like it's like it's got Arnie, like it's inside him.
Yeah, what's too late now?
Yeah,
It's been
and then
fucking how long?
yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
I liked the scene of him walking down the street covered in blood. I thought that was cool. When
Yeah, when he gets
going to
caught,
that house, yeah,
he's like, I
I
think
thought
it
that
just
was pretty
hurt
cool.
somebody. I think it hurt somebody. Cop's like, covered in blood, dude.
Clink, yeah.
Yeah, all right, back up, back up, beep, 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 back up. Yeah,
Yeah, it was decent though. If you like that, if you like those, if you like all the Conjuring shit, you
yeah.
don't care about the.
If you like shit horror movies, then go watch this movie.
Yeah, yeah, then
To
you'll
me,
get a
it's like me
kick
with
out
all
of
my
it.
friends. Like all my friends like fiend these crappy horror movies, and I'm like,
I can't
all
watch them.
right, you're the one who keeps paying to see these in theaters, so they'll keep making them if you keep watching them, I guess.
Which is the problem, right? Because these people just, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's fucking Halloween. You're just going to see this fucking Garbo movie that just came out. And it's like, okay. And then, next thing you know, it makes like a fucking $100 million. And then they're making six
Opening
more of them.
weekend,
Yeah.
opening weekend just blows everything out because everyone
Yeah.
wants to go see it. Apparently,
Yeah.
just imagine.
Then they got to make 16 of them because,
But I mean, to be fair, it's not like it's just, that's a new thing because it was the same thing with Jason, Friday the 13th. Pumped out
yeah,
way
Nightmare on
too
Elm
many of
Street,
them. Like, just kept
Halloween.
pumping them out, dude.
Yep.
After like 1 and 2, it's like you should have stopped.
Yep.
And they just kept doing it, dude.
Yeah.
Just kept going. They didn't want.
It's,
They just couldn't stop. It was like someone had an addiction to it. It was like,
yeah.
go ahead, dude. Do you?
Yeah, and they
Nightmare on
did the
Elm Street.
same with Nightmare on Elm Street was the same kind
It was like
of,
one,
but
two
not
sucked,
as
three was
bad.
good, four's okay, five's blah, six I believe is
New Nightmare was good.
is that number six?
I think that's the sixth one. Yeah,
I haven't
or
seen
the
it ever yet. I've
seventh.
only seen clips, dude.
I think
Huh?
that's the. I think is it the seventh one?
I think it's the seventh one. Six, I think, is where it
Good God, they
flopped.
made fucking 7 of those and then a remake.
Yeah, Freddy versus Jason as well.
Oh, Freddy, baby. I like Freddy versus Jason though.
It's a, you know what, guilty pleasure, I guess. I
Yeah,
guess it's a good
it's
name
like
for it.
it's a really shitty movie, but you
It
know what?
sucks ass cheeks, but
Yeah,
just
it's
something of
so bad, but
has a shitty charm to it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Unlike most horror movies today, they don't have a shitty charm. They're just shit. Because
yeah.
Freddy, it's like stupid. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's stupid. But like there's kind of cool action scenes, not
Yeah,
action, but like kind of action scene, whatever you want to call them.
yeah. Their fight scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, it's cool. Like if you if you were one of those people that in the '80s when those things were big and you like both of
I
those
I
franchises to
always
see them.
I always gravitated towards slasher stuff when I was a kid. For horror, I never liked Paranormal Activity. I was always like, I was bored. I was literally, it bored me when I was a kid. I never found it. I just found it stupid.
Mhm.
So I was like, and I think that sounds kind of pretentious, and I wasn't like it was below me. It was just like, I'm gonna sit here and get jump scared for what?
Right.
What's cool about this? It's like annoying me.
Yeah.
It's like a chihuahua. It's like having a pet chihuahua. It's like this thing's just annoying. There's nothing really out of this. Like what? I get a couple cute pictures with it.
Yeah.
Chihuahuas are ugly, dude. Anyways, chihuahuas are paranormal activity. Chihuahua activity. That's the name of the episode right there.
There you go.
Got it. Chihuahua activity. What was I gonna say? But yeah, first horror movie I watched when I was a kid was Halloween Resurrection, the shit one when Jamie Lee
Wow.
Curtis comes back. I'm pretty sure, and they
Well, she
had
dies
that's
in that one, right?
I think that's in all of them, dude. Like I think I'm pretty sure that's one with like who's in that one, celebrity wise. There's celebrities in that one. It's like Ice Cube. Someone's in it.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
Resurrection. Resurrection was
Uh, is it LL Cool J?
no. It's
Is it Notorious Biggie
good
IG?
good Christ, who the fuck is in that? Tyra Banks, I think, is in it.
Yeah, I think she's in it.
Oh my god, it's like fucking right here, right? It's fucking right on the tip of my tongue, and I fucking don't know who it
That,
is now, and I gotta look it up.
that movie was buried. That movie almost buried that franchise for good, like forever.
Yeah.
Until fucking what's his face Rob Zombie was like, I'll do it.
Actually, funny that you said that
Underrated.
because the first horror
Underrated.
movie that I remember watching is the Rob Zombie Halloween, the first one.
Dude. Hey, guess what? Underrated.
Yeah, big
Decent
time,
slasher flicks. Decent. He's huge. He's just a monster. He's just an absolute unit. Michael Myers in that movie.
bro. It was Busta Rhymes.
Oh, that's right. It was Buster
It
Rhymes.
was Busta Rhymes.
Down. That's a Buster Rhymes impression, guys. Thank you. We're tired.
This is the Busta Rhymes watch.
Oh God. That's a front runner. That's a front runner for the name of the episode, I think. But the Buster Rhymes watch.
Oh man.
Dude, he does like an actual like karate kick in that movie. I'm pretty sure. Also, that movie, I was like 8, horrified me till like I was at my cousin's house. I pissed myself almost that night, and then
Yeah.
right after that, we watched Scream. I love Scream. To this day, Scream might be my favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
That and Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
You know it's funny because each of these like franchises, a lot of times, most times, the
Mhm.
first one or two of the series are the best ones.
Yeah.
Look at Alien and
Yeah.
Aliens, great
Slap.
movies.
Yeah.
The rest of them,
Yeah. That's like most franchises, I feel like, to be honest. It's
yeah.
like T1, T2,
Look at the Conjuring 1 and 2.
Conjuring, Godfather 1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, number 3, although still good, doesn't live up.
It's nothing new.
Right.
It's nothing new. You know, there's novelty with when it comes to usually the first one and two of the movie
Yeah.
of whatever a franchise, whatever you want to call it, of an idea of a movie. Usually novelty is the first two of them, 1 and 2, and if they can't capture that novelty or just make
Right.
a good movie after, usually, yeah, and it's not rocket science. It isn't complicated like why it happens. Usually the studio gets involved. They want to try and replicate something to get. It's all studio politic bullshit.
Yeah, well, because they think if they make 18 of them, maybe one of them will be as good as the first one, and then
They just think, yeah, it's just like it's not even about making like it's almost not even that. It's just like so the first one did good, second one did good. Now they always feel like they know better now, like they know better than the director. They're like, whoa, no, we made money doing this in the first one. It's like,
right,
no, you made money doing what I wanted to do,
right,
what I felt was right for the story, which is like
which
I
is
always apply
classic.
that to Sam Raimi and Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
It's like he wanted to do something with the movie. They gave him a whole other different thing. He's like, I'll try. Didn't
yeah,
really want to do it, and that's why there was never a fourth one.
yeah,
So you didn't want to do a fourth one, and now they took McGuire because they're like, fuck that.
exactly.
And now yeah, I guess he's back doing Doctor Strange. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
so
um,
which is funny because talk about studio interference at
yeah,
Marvel Studios. That's the king of
yeah,
it.
yeah. There's like, but I mean, at least they pump out decent movies.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like I've always kind of, I feel like I come to the conclusion that it's okay to be that studio kind of factory making movie making whatever factory
Yeah,
if your cookie cutter for the movie is a decent cookie cutter.
right.
Do you know what I mean? That's fine.
Yeah,
If there you just get some good acting and some charisma in there, and it's made
right,
for kids. It's made for kids for the most part anyway. So I shouldn't even be like, do you know what I mean? It's
right.
like when they released that video, that new Spider-Man thing at Disneyland and at like the Avengers facility
Yeah,
place there. People are like,
yeah,
I don't know, it feels kind of cringe. I'm like, are you the 4-year-olds gonna go watch this?
yeah, exactly.
I was 4, dude. I'd be like,
It's
this is insane. And we
yeah,
go all the time, every day.
right.
But
And
the
that's
40-year-old who still goes to Disneyland on his own is like, hey, this is fucking stupid.
that's like that's what I was kind of saying the other night to my brother. It's like Marvel, regardless of um regardless of what you think of the movies, the way they bring in directors is
Yeah.
this is the larger scale. So if you can work within these guidelines and these rules, then do the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very rarely do they say take this and do whatever you want with it.
And you see what happens when you try and make a franchise without an actual guideline, without
Mm-hmm.
parameters, because then you have the Star
Star
Wars one.
Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, which obviously, like, we don't have to go into that. Everyone is ridiculed it for being an absolute piece of garbage franchise. The new one, but
Yeah.
I mean, so speaking of shitty franchises, Fast and the Furious, Jurassic World crossover. Apparently, who Universal? That's the one. They want it. They want to do a
Yep.
Fast and Furious and Jurassic World crossover. Mike, I don't know why. I don't know what to do, Mike. What am I gonna do? I don't get it. Why?
You see,
Who wants that?
I don't even think Vin
People
Diesel
who own
wants
GI
that.
Joe figures want that.
Yeah. Um,
That's what I
maybe
think.
for toddlers and kids who don't have enough brain capacity to think for themselves, perhaps.
I
Um,
think I think it's made for people who once had brain capacity, but then lost it in a tragic accident, and now are just sitting there like this,
yeah.
like a vegetable, and they're like, "Oh my god, dinosaurs and cars."
You know what's funny too?
No,
If that movie gets made and it comes out, I bet you it would make a fuck ton of money.
if it doesn't come out, I'll kill myself live on the podcast.
Which we'll do a live stream.
Live stream, yeah. We'll premiere it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You could be poggers in the chat. Poggers in the chat.
I I don't understand the thought process behind that.
There isn't one, dude.
Um,
It's not a
because
thought. It's
there's
just a
no there's
fucking.
no there's no logical way in any fucking universe that dinosaurs and fast cars and guns and violence mesh. There's no
See,
way.
here's what I think. I think you're wrong there. I know where they're gonna go with this, and this is what happens. Watch this. Dinosaurs go rampage everywhere. Dinosaur rampage everywhere, and they go. We need some big guns for this one. Time to call in the
Oh my
family.
god, if that happens, I'm
Yeah,
done. I
yeah.
am done.
Like these dinosaurs are the fastest they've ever been. They're these fast dinosaurs. I don't know. Dom Toretto's like family, and then that's it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
He's gonna like one of the dinosaurs is gonna be like in his crew for the next one, and then there's gonna be a
poor Paul Walker.
sequel.
He died
Jesus
for. Is this what he
Christ.
died for? Huh?
Yeah,
Did
so
he
Vin
die
Diesel
driving his car for this to happen, dude?
so Vin Diesel could share a
To wrap
car
his
with a
car around a tree.
fucking so Vin Diesel could drive his car with a fucking T-Rex next to him, you know? I
Could be kind of badass though.
I don't understand. I
You quit. We're over.
I'm done. If I see an official announcement that this movie's happening,
And I guarantee you, Rick Ross will make a song for that movie too, and it'd be like, the Lambo and the Rexagini, yeah, Maybach music, and then it'd be like Post Malone on a song too, and like Jack Harlow because he's on
yeah,
everything now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
gonna happen, dude. Studios,
in
they're
more
taking a
uplifting,
massive hit, man. They got to make some money, so it's just
um,
dinosaurs and cars, I guess. Get the 4-year-olds excited.
a couple of days ago, Andy Muschietti posted a picture of Michael Keaton's Batman suit with some blood drops on the logo, which I fucking loved.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an excellent tease.
Yeah, not much really to talk about there. I feel like, but
If you haven't seen it, check it out on his Instagram. It's up there.
the movie's getting made. That's all when I see it, I'll believe it with this movie. When I see the movie, when I'm in the theater,
Yep.
if they're still around then. But I'm in the theater, munching on popcorn. You or Matt are next to me, and I go, "Oh, the movie started.
Oh, it happened.
The movie started. Okay, so what happened? All right.
Oh, the Flash movie's finally out, even though it was supposed to come
Oh,
out
it
6 years
happened.
ago.
Yeah, like Black Adam too. Who gives a fuck about Black Adam, man?
Oh, Black Adam, you know.
The Rock
Fucking The Rock's been trying to make this fucking movie for 10 years.
could have made it himself probably with all the money he has from the Under
Oh,
Armour deal, and also every movie he's ever made makes too much
a
money. Except for
billion
Rampage.
dollars. Yeah.
Except for the Rampage movie.
Rampage.
Yikes, that was a flop. Who would have guessed that would have been a flop? Everybody.
Anybody who has a working brain.
Yeah, like we don't want to see this movie.
Um,
We've seen it already.
yeah, it's. I'm getting so annoyed with The Rock because of that, and I'm sick of seeing him in literally every movie he's in.
Yeah.
Because not only does he play the exact same character in all of them, they're just all mediocre action movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is true.
Just subpar shit.
Also, I don't feel like he has. I don't know. I don't think he. I don't know. I just don't think The Rock has the solo chops
No.
to carry a mediocre movie like Sylvester Stallone would.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I don't think Arnold. I'm not like the. I'm not gonna act like I'm some big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. But you know, I mean, I don't know. Whatever, dude. Do your fucking thing. He's making money.
Yeah.
What am I gonna say? People are watching it. I'm sure people do like it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
That's pretty much what it is. Like, see, I feel like
like,
Stallone obviously is a good actor. You know
mhm.
what I mean? He, regardless of that, he's made a lot of shitty action movies in his day, or just shitty movies. Period.
Yeah, shitty.
Yeah,
Everything.
but the good stuff he was in was
Except
like
for his
he's
daughters.
yeah,
Not
man.
shitty. Anyways,
God bless him.
yeah.
Where I feel like Schwarzenegger on the. I don't think Schwarzenegger is a very good actor.
No.
Not at all, really.
Hmm. No. At all. Yeah. Somewhat funny sometimes.
Yeah, and even then,
Kindergarten Cop, I guess, but
yeah, that is kind of funny. Actually, that one's a classic. But
Total Recall is just kind of funny because it's Total Recall. Yeah, wasn't on purpose, but just funny.
yeah, I'm also I'm sick of the whole Kevin Hart and The Rock thing.
Yeah.
I'm over it. It was
Yeah,
funny for 30 seconds when they did their first movie together.
Yeah, they did like it's like 4 too many movies though. I feel like at this point now.
Yeah, because they've done a few, like, you know what I mean. It might
What
have worked. It might have worked for Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, but
did it though?
maybe not in Daddy's Home.
What else have they done together?
They did The Other Guys, which was really funny.
I never watched that because
It's that's one of my that's probably one of my favorites of Will Ferrell's.
yeah.
Yeah,
Big
it's funny.
Talladega Nights guy.
Talladega Nights. I like Talladega Nights.
Big Blades of Glory guy.
I never actually saw that. Believe it or not.
Holmes and Watson guy.
You know what's fucking hilarious? I went to see
Not
that movie.
Not that movie.
I went to see that movie in theaters, and
That's unfortunate.
it couldn't. I didn't buy the ticket, so I didn't give a shit. But
Who did? Why would they do that to you?
yeah, I don't
Who did
know. My cousins.
Are your cousins retarded?
Yeah. Because we every year for Christmas we don't get each other gifts. We just all go out and do stuff together.
That's a good idea. I like that.
And so we did like dinner and like the movies, and we just picked that because
Always a banger. Dinner movies.
yeah, there's nothing else.
I missed that, dude. That's what I fucking miss.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
big time.
Restaurant, going to the movies. Maybe if they were open.
Yeah,
Could do
I know.
that.
Little Strata visit.
Oh Jesus. Is that even a visit for you? Is that just like is that just like it's like going home?
Yeah.
It's like going to it's not even a visit.
No.
It's a reappearance.
It's just yeah.
Reoccurring spot. Like Stan Lee or whatever, and like or built like one of those like Big Bang Theory cameos, you know what I mean?
Yeah. pretty much.
Anyways,
What were we talking about?
movies and Holmes and Watson.
God, I don't want to talk about that fucking.
PTSD.
Yeah.
It has to go to therapy now. Diagnosed with high anxiety and depression because of that movie. I wouldn't put it past you.
Oh, like imagine the standard because Will Ferrell and John C. Riley having done two really funny movies together before
Hmm.
that,
Yeah.
and like Step Brothers is
Yeah.
one of the funniest movies of all time,
Right.
and to do Holmes and Watson, I,
We don't have to talk about it.
I,
We all know. We all know, Mike. We
I
all
don't
know.
get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. They should be held to death penalty for that movie. But anyways,
Totally.
anyways, that's how I feel about that shit, dude.
Nice.
What else we got? Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I wanted to ask Mike a question. What's better, knocking on heaven's door, the Guns N' Roses version, or the original by Bobbeth Dilleth, Bob and
Um,
Dylan,
my
Duran Duran?
personal my Duran Duranza. That's a fucking throwback, eh?
Talk about the '80s, dude.
Hungry like the wolf, you know.
Anyways, anyways,
um, yeah. I mean, my personal preference, I would prefer to listen to Guns N' Roses version over Bob Dylan's. Um,
because
I'm listen.
you're a racist bigot, is that
I
why?
yeah, yeah, that's it. Um, I I really like Guns N' Roses
Mm-hmm.
as a
Racist
band,
bigot, right?
minus Axl Rose.
Right. Slash
I
jokes.
yeah, Slash is unbelievable guitar player.
Looks like a Muppet, but continue. Right.
Yeah, but yeah, but at the same time, if you're looking for a song that has a little bit more depth, a little bit more meaning to the
Yeah.
lyrics, check out Dylan's version because the way he sings it, it's like we were
You know,
saying in our last episode. It's about, you know, when it's the original guy, the original song,
right.
you hear the words more through the way they're singing it. You know what I mean?
It's what he and I think the instrumental in the song as well. What accompanies his, I think it's perfect for the song.
Yeah.
I think it just. I think the song. I think it's perfect. That song. I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
At like at any point ever. I don't think his voice ruins it. I don't think any of that shit. I think legitimately like, and we could have a Bob Dylan conversation if we really wanted to, but I think he is top five writers
Yeah.
ever. I maybe not like vocalists, but
He's
just writers.
yeah, he's
The whole Blonde
probably
album is like insane in terms of writing the whole album
yeah,
is insane.
he's probably the greatest songwriter I
Yeah.
think of all time.
I'm not comfortable with saying greatest, but if someone was saying greatest, I'd be like, sure, that's fine. I'd
Yeah,
be
like
totally
you
that.
could definitely make an argument just because he was
I
so
think it's Morrissey.
he is so poetic and
Hmm.
just he has a certain way of fucking just writing lyrics that are just like holy god
And
somebody actually wrote this.
I think I feel like a lot of like in terms of just like political music,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it. Obviously, like I literally have one of the greatest political albums right next to me. But like when it's done right, dude, when it's done right,
Yeah.
nothing is like as moving as some of that stuff. And I
Right.
feel like it's very saturated today, very saturated, like extremely saturated.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of it's just I feel like every song just sounds like Fight the Power in my head. That's all they want to be. And like Masters of War, dude. Oh my god, 8 minutes, dude. That
Yeah.
song. It's like 8 minutes long. It's just like the whole like, I
Too
just
long.
don't. It it's a long song, but I mean, if you were just to sit there and listen to it for 8 minutes, it's an amazing.
Yeah.
piece. But anyways, obviously like this like a lot of like the GNR version has that really great solo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean it's kind of more, I feel like it's more iconic, especially because Axl's
It,
voice that's kind of
it,
like,
yeah. It got a ton of radio play too.
yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird, especially if you're looking at Bob Dylan covers like All Along the Watchtower, obviously
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix version, which he kind of changed, like, and they both covers changed the original
Hmm.
a little bit. Obviously Jamie's is more innovative. I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Um like I don't think it's just a hard rock he changes like lyrics in the song completely to make a new version of it pretty much.
Yeah.
Um but it's I don't know, it's an interesting one. It really is. It really just prefers what, also the mood.
Definitely. Definitely
Yeah, like
different.
I was driving tonight and that song came on, made me think of which one's better, and I'm like, in this very moment, there's no way you could convince me that playing uh the GNR version is better. But um
Yeah. See, GNR. It's tough because um yeah, I'm not a very big Axl Rose fan.
yeah,
Um,
I feel like they're kind of this may be a hot take, but I feel like in terms of like sonically, they're like the Smashing Pumpkins of
that's
hard rock, hair
yeah,
metal, hard rock,
hard rock.
hard rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you can't get behind Axl Rose's voice, you'll never get behind really any of it. Like
Yeah.
obviously Slash is an amazing guitarist, obviously, but like he has so much solo stuff. I feel like too that's good, especially with
Yeah.
I mean, you sent me some of that stuff with Mouse Candy. All that stuff is great.
Yeah.
Like if
I
you can't
I
listen
prefer
to voice,
that stuff. Yeah, like I prefer the Slash solo stuff
hmm
again because the singer's better.
right,
Um, I adore Miles Kennedy. I think his fucking voice is incredible.
slaps.
Um, but also when he sings some of the Guns N' Roses stuff, it sounds so much better. Just because
Especially
it's
now too.
not. Yeah, and like Miles
Yeah,
Kennedy still sounds really
Axl
good.
Rose
Axl Rose,
does not age well at all.
no.
Why are they touring? Why are they touring? Money, besides money, like is there a reason why they're touring? I just feel like touring.
I still would have loved to have seen them live for the band.
Yeah, I feel like yeah. If I feel like it's tough because like if Axl Rose does not give a decent performance live,
Yeah,
I feel like it'd be hard to sit there for like 2 hours and just listen to
yeah.
Axl Rose. Like
Sometimes more.
yeah, oh my god,
Um,
dude. Like that's the thing I was thinking about it today, and bringing up Metallica, but like dude, they still like you could argue that Metallica now. You could argue, I mean, they're not just because I mean, just by just the fact alone that like Cliff Burton and whatnot, like and just Lars, obviously like Lars fucked in the '80s as a drummer. He fucked. Don't tell me
yeah,
anything else. He fucked. His style of drumming is like one of the most in the '80s is one of the most influential
yeah, definitely.
ever.
Yeah,
Drumming style ever. Like the
yeah.
double kick,
Oh,
everything that
yeah,
it's in terms of
definitely,
metal, 100%.
definitely.
Obviously now doesn't practice, doesn't give a shit. He's obviously, you know,
Yeah, they
2000,
get their money.
2001 on. Speaking 2001 and on St. Anger, 25 years. 20, what is it? How many years today? 20. 20
20,
years.
20 years.
20 years. 2001 it came out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I believe.
20
20
years.
years. Yeah. Also, I have a remastered version. I watched the version of St. Anger like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And James does the scream right before it the intro ends
Yep.
and kicks. And someone made a remastered version of the studio version of the song that fixes the drums and adds that yell, and it shortens the song too. It fixes the whole song entirely because my whole thing with Stay in Anger, the original song,
Yeah.
is that way too long. Should have been a short song
Mm-hmm.
as kind of like a motor breath type song,
Yeah.
right? Super fucking hard ass riff, couple catchy lines of Saint Anger, hold the whole chorus. I think it's a good chorus, and just that scream at the beginning that they add,
Yeah.
it just adds the whole thing. And people make an argument that the snare in Saint Anger and the whole album adds a layer of like uh not rawness, but like it adds like a
I,
layer to the anger side of the album,
yeah,
which is
I
fair.
could see that.
But it's almost weird to hear without the trash can snare. Anyways,
Yeah.
point being is live, Metallica still is like better than a lot of people like just currently like newer
Yeah.
acts
Yeah,
live
definitely.
now. But if it wasn't for like Lars just being a complete poopacaka drummer right now,
Yeah.
and like Kirk doesn't know how to tune his guitar. Besides that, you know, I'm like,
Yeah, it's
besides that, I mean, like they're top
yeah.
performance right now. I'm like, I need to see
Which
them live before they any of them like die or whatever, like a
yeah.
fucking a bus
Which,
falling on them.
which I mean, like at the same time, it's the same as like some of these older bands coming around because they don't sound the same as they used to.
Right.
And if you see them for the first time now and it's bad,
Yeah.
it
Tough.
totally ruins like the music because
Mm.
then and then you're like, oh, then you that's all you remember is how, like, look at Vince Neil,
Yeah,
Motley
he
Crue.
sucks.
That video that just came out, he played a concert last week or whenever that was, and he straight up walked off the stage. He
Yeah.
straight up stopped singing the song and said, basically, I can't sing this fucking song, and he left.
Yeah. That's and I don't blame Hollywood, but I blame the the big label, big Hollywood thing and that. Well, they're always to blame. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's like here's a big check. The Dirt was a good movie. People liked it. Well, maybe it was a good movie, but it was I haven't seen it because I died. I don't give a fuck. But like,
it was decent,
um,
but
I gotta watch it because MGK. There's this whole like Molly Crew has this weird renaissance right now that it like isn't really a renaissance. It's just like a slight trend.
yeah.
But but studios and they're treating it like a renaissance. Now we're gonna get that movie with Sebastian Stan and whoever. What who's he playing?
Tommy Lee.
Yeah, he's playing Tommy Lee and who's this girl? Pamela Anderson, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I forget the actress who's playing her though.
Yeah, but that's the Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson is the movie. Like now they're making that movie. It's
The
like,
gist, yeah,
who cares, dude?
yeah.
Like now you have this Molly Crew tour
Hmm.
that was probably completely forced. And
Well,
I
yeah,
know
because they were on this giant bill with three other great bands.
who was it? It's Def Leppard, right? Molly
Yep,
Crew and
them, Poison and Joan Jett.
Poison. Yeah, it's great. Joan Jett's still pretty decent.
She's the
Yeah,
best. She's
yeah,
so good. She
yeah,
still sounds pretty good too.
yeah. I mean, like now she's still decent, but like
Yeah, oh
before,
yeah,
obviously she's the fucking greatest. But I mean,
yeah.
like
She's
she still
um
has it in her a little bit, but not
yeah,
obviously. I mean, if you watch, I remember watching her in the Nirvana tribute, and I'm like, kind of,
yeah. It's just she's singing a fucking
it's hard to sing those Nirvana
it's
songs and do
yeah.
them well, to
It's
be
hard to
honest.
pull off Nirvana, but
Yeah,
um,
I think she did "Come as You Are," but
I think so. Yeah,
hard to do "Come as You Are." That's a hard song to sing properly and make it sound good. I
yeah,
feel like.
yeah. Yeah, it's tough because imagine now you went and paid all that money for the stadium tour, and Motley Crue is the second biggest band on the bill, and they suck.
Who's the biggest one?
Yeah, well, probably Def Leppard.
Really?
Yeah, big
I
time.
feel like I feel like Motley Crue today is bigger than Def Leppard.
Maybe today because of the movie, but
Yeah, I just feel like today at this very second, like Motley Crue, that's why I feel like this tour is such a weird tour because like it's like they can't tour like they can't do that, dude. Like like we all know, like he knows, dude. Like he's
yeah,
walked off stage unless he's like completely delusional and like can't hear
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
It's like, dude, like
I'm sure yeah,
this
he
shouldn't
knows.
be a thing. And I remember we were, I think it was us or me and another friend probably talked about going to see him, but getting tickets for that tour and just like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like in my head, I remember being like, but won't this be shit? Like, there's no way this can be that good. I like
Yeah,
Poison. Poison's fuck. Poison
yeah.
fucks. Never been a big death. I'm not really a big hair metal person to be honest in general. Um,
I see. I feel like they're a little bit different than most of those bands. Um, just because like their earlier stuff fucking rocks.
Def Leppard's.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah,
once they got kind of into the late '80s, they started to kind of
I gotta check out more of their
trend.
early stuff.
Yeah, like their third album, I think it was Pyromania, is amazing.
Hmm.
Mind you, so is Hysteria, but that like after that one, they kind of just
Hmm.
started to drop off a little bit.
That's tough. That's
But
tough.
and
That's tough.
people give those bands a lot of shit because when they tour, they're touring old material.
Yeah,
Um, like Def Leppard just did another Hysteria tour like a couple years ago. The album came out fucking in 1987.
yeah.
Like
Weird.
really necessary.
It's weird. It's
Um,
weird. I get it, money, but like, but you
yeah,
can say the same thing with Metallica. Like they're still touring. I mean, they're always gonna be doing the hits. I feel like every band ever will be always doing the hits
sure.
unless they make
Yeah,
another album. But
mm,
like, I mean, Metallica made another album a few years ago, 4 years ago,
yeah,
now, five coming up on 5 years now. That album.
yeah. Almost 5 years. Yeah.
So
Um, which
and they're
actually,
and they're gonna make another one. They're gonna make this is that's they're making another one right now. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
I mean, they're gonna keep going until they don't want to anymore, or they can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
And I
um,
one thing I did want to mention too about James's voice is that if you listen to his cover of Wood now, which
mhm.
I think is a great cover, I think it's a good cover. People hate that cover. They're literally just they. I feel like people they don't even hear the song. They just hate it before they even listen to it. And like you seen his
He
Wood cover
sounded
from like
great on it. I
he
wasn't a fan of like
sounded
the arrangement, but he sounded really good on it.
the arrangements. It's a tough one to get behind just because it's missing the bass line
Mhm.
that I would have loved to hear Rob do because Rob's such a great bass player.
Yeah.
And I think we did something really cool with that bass line, especially
Mhm.
acoustically. Acoustically, that bass line is so sick. I was listening to the MTV Unplugged version like yesterday,
Yeah.
and I think we should do that acoustically.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
good shit.
I pretty much have it down. I just I'm not sure how I think it sounds fine with an electric bass if you did it acoustically too.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think yeah, I want to do that so bad, but it's so sick. And I like the arrangement's interesting. I think it's an interesting take on the song. But James's voice, if you compare it to his Wood cover when he performed with the band, whenever it was a while ago, like 10 years ago, probably almost at this point. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
I don't
But
think so. No.
yeah, it's an interesting cover. It's a live cover, so they do it at like on stage at some concert. They bring out James Hetfield to sing Wood, and he doesn't really. I think he looked like he was drunk. I feel like he was drunk when he did it, and I'm like, that's not good. And he kind of wanted to redeem. It seemed like he wanted to redeem himself. I feel like with um the cover that he did for the Mopop uh
Yeah.
awards thing.
And the
And
thing
it's
is too, like,
and he hits those notes like he does good with it. And I'm like,
yeah, I was
it's
just gonna
hard to sing
say.
that song. I've heard that song covered like a cajillion billion times, and it's like
Mhm.
probably my favorite cover of that one is vocally is him.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked 'cause I'm like, he's not really. I didn't think he'd do it, and he did it, dude. And that's him in 2021 after fucking years of drinking and all that shit, dude.
Yeah, and just killing his voice, But
Also Kirk Hammett wearing a sombrero in that cover for no reason. Just a big ass hat. Like,
yeah.
okay, Kirk.
And I mean, like, it sucks because a lot of times there's like one video that's out there where he sounds like shit and people just take it and they're like, oh, he fucking sucked. It literally could have just been a bad night.
Especially when you're that age, dude.
Yeah,
It's
like
hard to
you know
get
what
a
I mean.
good
You're like
any age.
those kind of singers aren't gonna have bomb nights every time.
No, of course
You
not.
know what I mean? That's impossible. They can't.
Hmm.
And like that could have just been an off night. You know what I mean? Or especially if it's not his show and he comes out as like a guest and he's not, if he's not warmed up or he's not into it.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell he was just. He thought he could just go on there and probably do it and like kill it
Yeah.
without really try. And it's like, yeah, he realized like, yeah, I can't sing it like that, dude.
Yeah. There was one there was a video of Slash playing something for Ozzy Osbourne or whatever, and him and Miles Kennedy they played Crazy Train,
Hmm.
and people were like, "Oh, Slash fucking like the way he's played, like he sounds like shit. He can't play." And like literally his guitar went out of tune.
Yeah,
Like that's not his
yeah,
fault. That has nothing to do with him.
right.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's the same with singers. They have one bad night, and all of a sudden they can't fucking sing anymore. You know?
That's just how that's how it works. And then when I was talking about that Saint Anger performance that I saw, like he sings that chorus too, and I'm like, damn, like he really can still sing like that.
Yeah,
Even in the S&M stuff, S&M two. I mean, you watch. I haven't even really watched. I gotta watch it.
that's
Um,
good.
I've listened to it multiple times, but I mean, like, it's so sick that he can still sing like that. And that was when he was like a week after he went into rehab.
Yeah,
If you watch
that was
I watched the tuning room and the pre-performance video that they put on YouTube because they put literally everything on YouTube for Metallica,
yeah,
and you could tell he was like not in a good place. And I feel like Kirk was trying to get him ready, and then he goes on stage and like you can't even really tell
yeah,
unless you. I mean, you could tell he's not doing well because he's old and fat, and he's like, yeah,
yeah.
but like,
A lot of times too, that's it's like a therapy. You know what I mean? It's
mm.
like you kind of forget about everything that's going on when you're up there, and especially when if you're playing in front
And
of that many people.
that was the opening show of that arena
Yeah,
of
they
the new
did a couple
arena.
nights there, I think.
Yeah, they did two. They did. I think they did two or
Two
three nights.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that was the first performance at that new Golden State, not Golden. Wait, I guess the Golden State Arena, where
yeah.
everyone. I'm not sure. I think I forget what the name of it is, but um, it's like the pressure, dude. You're with the orchestra, and you gotta. I don't know how the fuck Lars keeps up with them. That's like most of when I see Lars perform.
It
Like I
kind
don't
of
know how Lars
baffled
did
me
it. He did it.
actually.
He always baffles me because like it'd be in the tuning room and he can't even play the song. Like he
Yeah,
literally can't play the song, and he goes on stage and like, oh, he's playing it, kind
yeah,
of.
and he's just yeah.
It's like kind of
Like,
not
oh,
really.
he's getting. Oh, you're like, oh, he's getting by.
Yeah, exactly. It's like oh, he's doing.
He's not ruining the song.
I feel like every time he walks off stage, he's probably like, holy fuck, that was
Just like it's a workout.
the most stressful thing ever. Well, they get massages before the performance. It hurt, dude. Playing songs fast hurts, dude. It hurts. That is not easy. That
Yeah,
is not easy. You watch them in their old performances. They're getting like they got a water boy next to them giving them water.
yeah.
Jesus, dude.
I never realized that too, and like I think I said this on one of our other episodes, but like every time I've played live, if I'm playing bass, I leave with blisters on both hands always.
Yeah, yeah. When I'm playing when I'm trying to play fast, like I was trying to play Saint Anger,
Yeah,
and like I was like, oh my fucking forearm, dude, ow.
it's yeah,
And I'm
and
trying to, and I was just trying, I was like air guitaring master of puppets, and I'm like, ow.
yeah, it's like even for me singing, I always say to myself, I'm gonna bring water with me. I
Never do.
always say I'm gonna put bottles of water in my bag, and I never do. And two songs in, whenever I'm singing, then my throat starts to get fucking scratchy, and then I get pissed off, and it bugs me because then
If
it's
I
just
was there,
like,
Mike, I would have water for you. Just saying.
yeah,
I would be prepared, dude. That's me, dude. That's me. That's what I do. Yesterday, went to the beach with the boys. Everyone brought, whatever they brought. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get
mm-hmm.
self-incriminating, but I brought the water. I brought the water. I brought the water. I brought the water.
Yeah, we need one responsible one, you know.
That's me, boy. That's me. That's what I do. Is it 11 o'clock and drinking espresso? Yes. Am I not going to sleep? I am going to sleep. I am going to sleep. I'm going to go up. I'm going to go right down. And he
It's a
crash.
nice
Go to
crash.
bed.
There you go.
Also, the blonde espresso roast at Starbucks is the inferior roast. Just saying, it's or the superior roast.
Superior is the better one. Yeah.
The superior. English is hard. The superior roast to the usual dark roast with espresso. And am I a bitch for it? I'm a bitch. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's good to know.
Yes, sir. Anyways, what are you going on now? What time is it? We're going for like an hour.
11.
Yeah, we're going for like an hour. We've been going for an hour. I think we're good.
That's a good time.
And we're good. And we're good. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, watching, follow us. Oh, before I check out my articles on OTL Sports. A little
Yes.
Ryerson University, couple guys that have a sports page going online. I know some guys got connected through them. been writing articles left and right. I have two, but I've been there for like a week and I've written two articles. So I just don't
Good stuff
stop.
though. Check it out for sure.
I did a couple Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. I did one opinion piece on uh, it being kind of this like accepting the reality of viral fights, which have been a thing for decades. Um, Ali did it, Sonny Liston did it, everyone did it. Anyways, then I did a fight preview, talking about predictions, how I think the fight's gonna go, and some betting odds stuff. And then that's it, dude. OTL Sports. Uh, Mike on Instagram, he does music stuff and family stuff. Oh, once in a while you might see Nano or Noni on there. Um, Michael Pascuz 98. Shut up, Instagram. You know what that is? OTL Sports, and they're fucking going off in the group chat. Literally,
We're not live
probably,
streaming this. Do they hear you?
imagine that. I've always wanted to do a live stream. Anyways, Mike, change my name on Instagram. Mike Leo Calla on Instagram. Mike Watch, TikTok, Instagram. Never post on TikTok. It's fine. Bye now.